It's a little Uncle Dave for you this morning. A little Uncle Dave. Like I said, I don't give it to you often, but he's got a little bit of knowledge and wisdom on him. Hey, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, either way, you're right. How many times have you heard me say that to you? Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, either way, you're right. So, what are you believing? Right? What are your beliefs? How are you thinking about things? Do you believe that the business is going to work out? Do you believe that you can get healthier? Do you believe that you can get financially free? Do you like whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, either way you're right. That's why our beliefs are so important, ladies and gentlemen, for us to get to the life that we don't need a break from. For you to design your ideal life, you got to know that it's important to believe. It's the belief system. You've heard me say this over and over again, but it's true. It's your belief system. It's how you think. Whatever you think about is who you become, right? These are the things that you got to remember when you're going off to design your ideal life. Whether you believe you can, whether you believe you can't, either way, you're right. So we got to start to develop a belief system that we can, that you can make it happen. That limiting belief, that voice that's in the back of your ear that's saying, I don't know if I can, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have the skills, I don't know how, I don't know the resource. Like when we have that go off, we have to switch that belief. We have to get to the belief of, I know I can make this happen. I know it's possible. Now you're asking yourself questions instead of making statements to yourself. How could I make this? Who do I need to talk to? Where does that resource come from? How could I do that? That becomes how we think. If you are focused on this belief, we become what we think about. We become what we think about. You guys know this. So again, what are you thinking about? What are you feeding yourself? What are you putting in your eye gates and ear gates? Because that's who you will become. Remember, I just talked about this over the last couple times we've met. The world is going to feed you fear. It's going to feed you fear. It's going to feed you things that take you away from the man or woman God called you to be. It's going to take you away from it. So you have to be intentional. That was another word Dave Ramsey used. You have to be intentional about the life you want to live. You have to be intentional about what you put into your mind. You have to be intentional about what you put into your body. We live a life of intentionality. There was another video I was going to use that was John Maxwell, but I think I had already played that clip before. But there's a clip of John Maxwell talking about being intentional living, right? Whatever you plant, that's what you're going to reap, right? Whatever you plant is what you're going to get back. You heard Dave say, right? You're not going to plant corn and be like, where are the beans? You're not going to plant laziness and be like, why am I not successful? Right? You're not going to plant negativity and be like, why do I feel depressed? And like, why, right? Why do I not have a positive life? If you're planting negativity, if you're planting fear, no wonder we can't activate our faith because what we're planting, we get. This is the intentionality, ladies and gentlemen. This is how intentional you have to be about your life. In our text, the 177 Mental Toughness Secrets, says champions understand cause and effect. This is what Dave was just talking about. Cause and effect. Life is not random. Your circumstances are not random. The things that are happening for you in life are not random. It's a cause and effect. And we have to understand this. Right? Life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. So whatever we are putting in, we will get the effect back, right? Whatever the cause is, we'll get the effect. So champions understand this. Here's what it says. It says the masses tend to focus on effects rather than the causes that create the effects. The world class goes directly for the cause and lets the effects take care of themselves. I'm just going to repeat that sentence so we can understand it. The masses tend to focus on effects rather than the causes that create the effects. The world class goes directly to the causes and lets the effects take care of themselves. This is the most evident in the area of weight loss. America is the fattest country in the world, with more than 65% of our population overweight and 27% are obese. This effect is leading many Americans down the road to diabetes, heart disease, and death. How do the masses solve the problem? They swallow pills, they go on crash diets, starve themselves till they can no longer stand it. All these methods treat the effects. There's an external solution to an internal problem. They're an external solution to an internal problem. The cause is the way people think about food and exercise. I want you to understand the cause is how you think about food and exercise. And the solution is to change your thoughts. When those thoughts are upgraded from middle class to world class, the weight problem gently fades and never returns. The internal problem is solved with an internal solution. Our level of health and fitness, like everything else in our lives, is the direct manifestation of how we think. It's the outward appearance of our internal thoughts. Average thinkers are unaware of this truth and would most likely reject it as being too pedestrian to work, even if they were made aware of it. Like most of the secrets of the world class, it's simple and straightforward. Cause and effect are no different, yet the great ones go from knowing this to actually using it. That's one of the reasons we call them champions. Like everything else in our lives, it's a direct manifestation of how we think. So sure, we can talk about our health. You can say, hey, I want to lose weight. Well, why do you want to do those things? And then as you get to the whys, you start to figure out, I have to think about this differently. I have to think about my health differently. Maybe you need some more information. Maybe you're operating off of faulty or less information. I'll tell you, when I got on my health journey, it was because I got information. My health coach, good friend of mine now, Kabi, he would always say, listen, the reason why we're obese, the reason why you're not losing weight, the reason why is because you're not doing what your body is designed to do. Our body is designed to heal itself, to fix itself, to digest, to clean the blood cells, like the human body, right? We're created in God's image, like it's perfect. But what we choose to put in America, he told me this, and this was the information that changed my life. He said, hey, in America, most people use 80% of their body's energy to break down food because we eat a lot. We have to have breakfast, lunch, dinner, all these meals, right? And so we use 80% of our body to break down food and 20% of our body's energy to go to cleaning the blood and doing all what it's supposed to do. He said that should be reversed. Only 20% of your body's energy should go to breaking down food. The other 80% of your body's energy should go to rejuvenating your body, cleaning the cells, cleaning the blood, cleaning your liver, like doing all of the proper work that only the human body can do. But because we've been taught breakfast is the most important meal of the day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, got to have three, like the information we've been given is the thing that causes us to then now not be able to, or we're getting diseases, we're getting sick quicker because our body's not doing what it needs to do. When I got that piece of information, my thoughts changed. My thoughts changed. It wasn't like, oh, I don't want to eat burgers anymore. Oh, I'm just not going to eat sweets anymore. No, my thoughts changed about what health is, what our bodies are supposed to do, because I got that bit of information. So now I affected the cause, or I changed the cause so I could have a different effect. So now I can learn to fast. So now I can learn to not need 3 meals a day. Now I can learn to drink more water, because my thoughts changed. That's just an idea in your health, in my health. You can do that in your finances. Man, if you change how you think about money, you'll get different results. If you change how you think about your family life or relationships, you'll get different results. If you change what you believe about God or your spiritual life, you will get a different result. It's all how we think about things. Again, that's what it says. The solution is to change the thoughts. Changing the thoughts. I cannot drive this home more, y'all, that you have to understand if we're going to go off and design our ideal life, you got to get to a place where you are affecting your thoughts, the cause of whatever's happening to you out there. Remember, it's an internal issue. We're an internal, this is where we got to focus, not the external world. These are just reminders. These are things you know. I know you know these things, but are we doing what we know? Are we doing what we know? Are we doing the things that we know are creating the life that we have? Are we doing the things to change our health? Are we doing the things to change our finances? Are we doing the things to change our business life, to change your spiritual life, to change your emotional intelligence, your mental toughness? Are you doing the things to change? That's what we have to be focused on. We can't be delusional, ladies and gentlemen. You got to know whatever you're planting is what you're going to reap. That's the harvest. It's whatever you're planting. So let's practice planting good things. Let's practice planting the seeds of gratitude, right? Why do I tell you guys every single morning, wake up, flood that mind with gratitude. Try not to let people in. Try not to think about, oh, I'm late or I'm rushing or I need this or I need to do that. No, let's just take 5 minutes and let's just flood our mind with gratitude. Why? Because now you're planting something that you're going to be able to, that's going to have a harvest. You're planting gratitude. You're going to get a harvest of gratitude. You're going to be able to see more things that you're grateful for. You're going to experience more gratitude if you practice planting that. If you practice planting fear and worry and doubt, you're going to get more of that. If you plant stress, you're going to get more of that. Like that is how this works. So if we want to go off and design our ideal life, like all of you want to, you want to go off and design a life that you don't need a break from, then we have to be aware of what we're planting. Life is about cause and effect. Again, what you saw in here is it says, right, where's that sentence? Again, it says like our level of health and fitness, like everything else in our lives, is a direct manifestation of how we think. That's the point. Action step for today says, look at the major areas of your life and ask what's holding you back from getting better. Dave Ramsey just said it in there. He said, it's how you're thinking, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, either way, you're right. It's the belief you have that's not letting you get to where you want to go financially, not letting you get to where you want to go in your health, in your business, in your spiritual life, with your children, in your relationships. It's your beliefs. It's your beliefs. And we have to take time to address our beliefs. If you think the same now, like you did 3 years ago, we're not growing. You should think completely differently 5 years down the line than you did 5 years ago. You should be different. I was telling someone this because I told them, like, I change my mind a lot, right? I'm very decisive. I'll make a decision, but I change my mind a lot. Why? Because I'm always getting new information. And when you get new information, you should change your mind. You shouldn't have the same opinion that you had 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago about something if you did work to put new information in. You should think differently. You should be like, oh yeah, I used to believe that, but now I don't believe that anymore. I used to think that about this, but now I don't because I got new information. So I did something different about it. How much are you doing that in your life? How much are you doing that in your health, in your finances? And right, you guys get it. So it says here, look at the major areas of your life and ask what's holding you back from getting better in that area. Next, identify the causes that are creating the effects, and set a goal to attack the cause and solve the problem. Remember, a problem can't be solved at the same level of consciousness it was created. So that means you got to raise your level of thinking. You have to raise your level of consciousness in order to solve any problems, any effects that are happening in your life. This quote says, society constantly expends its effort to correct effects rather than causes, which is one reason why the development of human consciousness proceeds so slowly. That's the mission, ladies and gentlemen. That's your work for today, February 11th, is to go out, upgrade your thoughts. This is a cause and effect game. Don't just pay attention to the effects. Don't just look at the reason why you're in debt or this thing happened. Like, no. Like, we have to go back to what did we plant? What are we planting? And if we plant good things, we will reap good things. That's the way this goes. And all of you got to start being intentional. All of us have to start being intentional about what we're planting. Whether you believe you can, whether you believe you can't, either way, you're right. You might as well believe you can. You might as well believe you can build that business. You can get financially free. You can get healthy. You can, and once you have that belief, good things are going to happen. You're planting the right seeds. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve it. That's right, Dana. That's right, Dana. Love you. Glad you guys showed up. Continue to show up. No matter what happens, continue to stay close to the fire, right, Dana? Continue to show up. Continue to make sure that you're pouring this good stuff in so that you can reap good things. But remember, you got to do the work. No one ever said this thing was going to be easy. They just said it was going to be worth it. You got to keep climbing. You got to keep working. You got to keep pushing. Why? Because you're building the capacity to handle the life that you're asking for. Right now, you don't have the capacity, and it's okay. But the life you're asking for, the life of your dreams, that vision that you have, it requires you to become a different person. And that's the journey. All right. Love you guys. Go out and do something that scares you this weekend or this week. I'll see you guys back here on Friday. All right. Take care. Love you guys.